Hello everybody, welcome back to another video for the day. Now we're going right back into r/Tales of Neckbeard because, you know, everybody loves a story time. Alright, so beforehand, be sure to like the video, comment down below during the video if there's something you'd like to discuss, and afterwards consider subscribing. Let's go! Our first story comes to us from username Suketsu do Soleil. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. The Tale of Sweatbeard. This is my first post to Reddit, but not my first Neckbeard run-in. It is the most interesting, however. There's one thing you should know. I trained for a circus, mostly flying trapeze, other aerial apparatuses, and banquet. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that one. So I do a lot of grueling exercises that people just beginning to work out would find challenging. I follow Cirque du Soleil's workout videos sometimes, which always has a disclaimer to talk to a physician before starting one of those workouts. But who cares about disclaimers? Also, during my workouts, I love to listen to Reddit videos, which prompted me to post this story. Usually, I go to a regular chain gym to keep up with working out when I don't have time to go to the circus gym that's an hour away and that you usually have to book. So I go to the regular gym this one day like any other to begin workout. It's arm day, so I'm doing pull-ups on the bar where I can see into the other room of the gym. From the other room, I see him, enter Sweatbeard. He is walking slowly on the treadmill, staring very intensely at me, which made me feel like it was going in slow motion. I really paid no attention to it at first. I thought he was staring into space, as one usually does, but I later figured that may not have been the case. After my workout, I work on flexibility and contortion, which I get a lot of odd looks for, but I really don't care. I set up my yoga mat to the far end of the room so I'm not blocking anyone or anything, and I can be left alone to concentrate. In the midst of my flexibility workout, I'm in a bridge-like position, and I assume my shirt is slightly exposing my midriff because next I feel someone poke my belly button, which instantly makes me collapse from the bridge. I legit almost kicked the dude when I rolled over, and I look up to meet the neckbeard. He is a complete neckbeard, stinky, sweat-stained anime shirt, greasy hair, stubble that didn't grow north of his chin, and concerningly large, the whole 9 yards, no fedora though. He was the most perfect neckbeard I've ever seen. Not once ever have I had someone touch me while I was contorted, let alone talk to me. It really scared me bad. When I regained composure, I scolded him to never touch me or others, especially while in a vulnerable position. I don't care if you're attractive or not. Do not ever touch people when they have not consented to it. He mumbled a little sorry and then proceeded to ask what my workout routine is. I could talk about my workout routine all day, but this guy really creeped me out by touching me, and I also remembered when he was staring intensely at me. To get out of this situation, I told him I could not disclose what my workout is because you have to be approved by a physician to start it. Hypocritical of me, but he gave me the creeps and I wanted to be left alone. This didn't stop the Sweatbeard though, as he told me he could handle my workout and even do my workout better than me because I was a small and fragile lady. Okay, I am maybe 5 foot, but I'm definitely not fragile. I fling myself off a 15-foot deck and have people toss me around every other day. Anyway, I explained why I didn't want to give him my workout routine, and he kept low-key insulting / complimenting me because I was a fragile lady. I was actually concerned about giving him my exercise routine because he was a very big guy who could easily hurt himself doing the workout. I thought for a moment while arguing with him to give him the most back-breaking, excruciating cardio exercise he'll ever do in his lifetime to get him to frick off back to his neckbeard nest for the rest of his life, but I couldn't bring myself to do that. If he got hurt or suffered a heart attack, his blood would be on my hands. This is a very anticlimactic ending, but after suffering through 10 minutes of telling this guy no and to leave me alone, I decided to just give up and leave. Sweatbeard tried to follow me out, but I pulled aside a worker at the gym who knew and trusted me because I was a regular. I told him that the Sweatbeard was harassing me right in front of Sweatbeard, who was begging me not to leave, or if I do, I should give him my phone number so we could be gym buddies. I told the worker about the unconsented touching, which he could confirm from the security tapes. He told the Sweatbeard to leave as soon as I was escorted to my car by 2 other workers and had driven away. I haven't gone to that gym in about 2 weeks since then. Now I work out mostly from home, but go to the circus gym slightly more often. It's more expensive, but it's definitely worth the money, especially since everyone there is professional and tight-knit like a family. I told all my friends at the circus gym this story and we had a good laugh about it. I hope you all did too. I have plenty more neckbeard stories and even a rare legbeard story from high school. Goodbye for now. I'm honestly really surprised at how calmly you were able to handle that, and that is something I can definitely admire, because think about it, if you're in this type of position where it's like a backwards bridge, and then somebody comes up, pokes you in the stomach, that's gonna throw you off a little bit. In addition to the whole collapsing, I myself probably would have questioned him and tried to get up in his face about it, and it probably wouldn't have ended nice. You just gotta love it when one little screw up happens to mess up the entire situation for you and not want to make you ever do it again. Like, seriously, could you imagine that guy just being there every single time? Because honestly, for myself, I would have tried to bring it up with the staff as much as possible to either get him kicked out or I leave. Our next story comes to us from username Hunting Red October. Pajama Beard Encounter 5, like in Love Letter. I get a gross letter from the beard and the only solution is to off it with fire. The cast, me, October, 17-year-old female who loves fishing and food, unwanted recipient of PB's affections. Pajama Beard, PB, 22-year-old male, self-proclaimed werewolf who has convinced himself I'm his soulmate. It has been a messy 72 hours since my last little run-in with Pajama Beard, during which he confessed a rather disturbingly fantasy to me. After that run-in, I was a little unsettled. If the guy was crazy enough to say that kind of thing to an almost total stranger, then he may not have any conscience at all not to take it a step further next time. I decided to provide myself a better means of self-defense. Now, as a note of clarity here, I'm by no means a gun nut. I have this gun simply for self-defense and nothing else. The gun in question here is a Smith & Wesson 22 long rifle CTG. 22 refers to the caliber, and CTG means cartridge, and Smith & Wesson is who is made by. For those who don't already know, also contrary to what the name may suggest, it is not a rifle but a revolver. This is what you might call a true ladies gun. 22 is a small caliber round, making it easier for someone with smaller hands and a weaker grip to fire accurately, which is why I own this particular model. Now, the legal age to own a handgun is in the lovely state of California is 21, which means it's entirely illegal for me to have this in my possession, but I'm not a total dumbbutt, and I understand this, so I simply move the gun from a well-hidden spot in my truck where it resides in its case to my nightstand so it's there but well out of sight. Doing this makes me feel substantially better, and I'm back to myself in no time. So, like I said, it's 3 days later, I'm feeling good washing sheets, and probably inhaling too much Windex while cleaning Cabins 15's window. Once 15 is clean, I move all of the supplies back to the shop and wait for the guests to arrive. Check-in is at 11 a.m., so I end up cleaning the shop's counter and floors. I sell 2 smoked trout in the times I spend waiting for some poor souls to buy a Twix bar that is definitely expired. It's a few minutes before 11 and I hear the door opening. I had been napping since no one had come by for an hour. With a bit of a start, I look up and my absolute horror it is Pajama Beard. He's clutching something made of paper in his left hand, and in his right is a breakfast burrito with more cheese than anything else. There was a good 3/4 of the burrito left, and I watched him in shock as this hog eats it in 3 huge bites. Looking him over, it almost seems as though he has somehow gained weight. I know, he has definitely packed on some pounds since I first met him, but I could have sworn he was heavier than he was even 3 days ago. My nose is then promptly hit with the same unholy scent, and it takes all my willpower not to throw up the rabbit stew I ate for breakfast. Hello, October. Fancy meeting you here on such a fine day. He is spewing chunks of his breakfast while saying this. Dude, swallow your food before you speak. Hello, PB, are you here to check in? If only I was, that would be divine, but your reservations are full until next month, probably because there is someone so beautiful working here. I would call Dan more handsome than beautiful, and if you're not here to check in, then I cannot talk. I'm working, and guests are set to arrive shortly, so whatever it is, please make it snappy. He looks at me, and then somewhat is disappointed and proceeds to stretch his left hand out to me. The piece of paper I saw was not actually a paper at all, but a sweat-marked sealed envelope. For you, m'lady. I write about lost it here. No one has ever said that to me before, and it made me want to crawl into a hole and not live. I then proceed to reluctantly pluck the letter from his greasy palm using the thumb and index finger pinch technique. Thank you, PB. Now, I have to get back to work. Before PB could say anything, his stomach made the loudest sound I have ever heard a stomach make. You probably could have heard it even standing outside at the pond, that's how loud it was. I guess 4 wasn't enough. For what? 4 burritos. I should have gotten 6 just in case, and maybe 3 extra hash browns orders instead of 2. The burrito I had watched this guy consume was not a small burrito, and it looked like a full 1-pound burrito. That means he would have already eaten 4 pounds worth of burrito plus 3 servings of hash browns if I am correct. I am assuming that he got 1 hash brown with his feast and ordered 2 extra, or maybe it was 1 hash brown per burrito plus 2 extra. Either way, at minimum, this guy had consumed 5 pounds worth of food for just breakfast, and he he was still hungry. Pigging out a bit is fine on occasion, like on holidays for example, but having a feast every day is not healthy. Lucky for me, before I could think about this insanity anymore then, I already had a young couple appear in the shop doorway. My unknowing hero's presence would now save me from the jaws of this obese wolfman. PB looked up and then looks towards me, but I've already begun pulling out the guest book and talking to them. With a big huff, he waddles out, causing the little shop to rock a little as he went. I get the couple checked in, and they must have seen the disgust on my face when they tried to make conversation with me to make me feel better. Their kindness isn't lost on me, and I thank them for showing up when they did and being so nice, and I show my gratitude by giving them the friends and family discount on their entire stay. In the back of my mind, however, is the envelope and how it is still sitting on the counter corner in the bait shop. I want so badly just to leave it there, but I'm also an extremely curious person, and this time my curiosity got the better of me. It's a good time later when I sit down to eat my dinner. I found some really nice porterhouse at the Vaughn's in Bishop, and I prepared one of them for dinner along with a baked potato and pan-fried asparagus. I sit at my little table eating, and before me sits the Beard's envelope. Using my fishing knife and a napkin, I dissect the envelope, revealing a piece of paper which contained some of the most cryptic and disturbing things I've ever read. I'm sitting here eating my steak, reading the world's most delusioned love letter. Now I wish I would have taken a picture of it, but it honestly probably violated Reddit's guidelines for even an adult post. Lines like, "I will make you nut until you bleed," and "if your boyfriend tries to get between us, I'll slice his head off and feast on his corpse," are forever etched into my memory. I would have taken that shot straight to the police if it wasn't for the fact that he was smart enough to type it and not handwrite it, and I doubted anyone would actually believe I received this and it wasn't some kind of cry for attention or hoax. But looking back on it, I think the biggest reason I didn't do anything is because it didn't scare me. I honestly found it kind of funny, and I recall laughing while reading it because of how bold and fake his claims and threats were. In that moment, I felt stupid for ever feeling unsettled by this guy, and that night I returned my revolver to its hiding spot in my truck and even left my doors unlocked. If this fricker wanted to try something with me, then I wanted to see him try. The next morning, I woke up nice and early and lit a campfire outside to cook some bacon and eggs on. But my real motive wasn't to have a rustic breakfast. I used that as an excuse to have a fire to burn PB's comical freaking letter and have it contribute to something useful while doing so. However, much like my patience of PB's bullshot, the love letter was nothing more than ash in a matter of seconds. In the next installment of the PB encounters, we'll skip forward a bit to my boyfriend's visit and PB's jealous fury. Edit: my plan was to skip forward a bit to avoid spamming this sub with stories, the plan being to only release 2 more. However, if enough of an interest is expressed here, I can post more of my personal page, so please let me know. I'm actually looking forward to seeing any more of this. And honestly, once the boyfriend gets involved, stuff is going to get very, very fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing it all. Alrighty, and that's gonna have to be it for the video. If you had liked what you had seen, be sure to like the video, comment down below what you'd like about the video, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.